Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to lock it in. Time to crush another day. Time to 10x your life, 10x your business, 10x every single day. Hey, Robert Farrell here, certified 10x coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through. And together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, two great guests today, but before we get to them, I do want to remind you of a couple of things we have going on here real soon. You might recall I'm the president of the board of directors for Local First Springfield. We have a great event coming up for you on September 18th out at Jane Hay Sales and Staging. Check out the Facebook event. You can look for that on my socials or on the Local First Springfield socials. That's going to be September 18th. 5 to 7 p.m. We would love to have you out, learn more about what Local First is up to and some of the things we have planned for the future. But before that, here on September 3rd, Big Dog Business Coaching, that's my coaching and training company with my business partner, Chris Hartsook. We are hosting an event over at Pole Barn Chic on September 3rd. That's from 8:30 to 12:30. Great for small businesses out there to come and learn about how you can protect your business from lawsuits, and then also learn how to make your voice heard in Springfield when it comes to legislation. So we're going to have expert panel there. Part of that locally here from Springfield, we're going to have Pat Sheehan, and we're also going to have Ryan McCready. Ryan's going to be on the panel. Pat is going to be on the panel, and he's also going to be given an hour-long presentation on how you can protect your business from some of these lawsuits and a couple of other tips and things you can do to protect yourself business-wise. So a lot of great information to be learned that day. We would love to have you. We'll start at 8:30. 8:30 to 9 will be a light breakfast and networking. 9 to 10 will be the presentation from Pat. 10 to 11 will be the panel discussion. And then we'll have a lunch for you after that, a nice networking lunch. Now, if you're crunched on time, hey, just come for that 9 to 11. Get all that great information. We would love to have you either way. So you can check my socials for that. Get all the information. It is a free event, but we do ask that you go ahead and register and get you that ticket so we can make sure we're prepared for food. But again, free event, a lot of great information for you. Hope to see y'all there. So today, two great guests, as I mentioned. We've got Tracy Dowell from Springfield Running Center. We're going to hear her story and talk all things running and shoes and all that fun stuff. She's got a lot of great takeaways for you today. So many great nuggets for you. That business itself has been a long-time staple of the Springfield community, and in the past 15 years or so, Tracy has been a part of it. So we're going to learn how she came to own that business and some of the things she's learned along the way. So after that, we're going to have another edition of Communities Grow Together, brought to you by the Hilst American Family Insurance Agency. David and his team can take care of you, whether you need home, auto, life, business, whatever the case may be, insurance-wise, they're going to take care of you. We also want to thank our friends over at Custom Property Solutions. No matter what you need land-wise, whether it's hardscapes, landscapes, land clearing, forestry mulching, or just simple lawn care, Brandon and his team are going to take care of you with precision and passion. Give them a shout or head over to CustomPropertySolutionsLLC.com. We're going to get right to Tracy after the break.
Custom Property Solutions transforms land and outdoor spaces throughout Central Illinois with precision and passion. From clearing overgrown brush to crafting stunning patios and fire pits, Need expert lawn care, excavation, or fence row clearing? They've got you covered, safely, efficiently, and on budget. Fully insured and satisfaction guaranteed. Visit CustomPropertySolutionsLLC.com today, where your land meets their passion.
And we are back. Joining me in the studio now, Tracy Dowell from Springfield Running Center. Tracy, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming and spending the afternoon with me here.
My pleasure. It's a gorgeous day.
No doubt about it. So great to be in Springfield today,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah. So we're going to talk all things Springfield Running Center, but let's first learn a little bit about Tracy. Tell us about your background.
All right. I am originally from Lebanon, Missouri. I lived there for 21 years. And so I've been here for about 32 years now and call Springfield my home. I have 3 grown adult children, all boys, and a couple of them live here. One of them's in Kansas City. They kept me busy for several years being a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
But before that, I was in accounting. I worked for Budweiser. And after that, I took a part-time job working at, a couple different things just to stay at home with them, but mainly worked in the Chatham Ball district, school district. And I coached, which is probably my best job, even including now. I coached for probably a total of 12-ish years. And I coached Chatham Glenwood cross country and track. I was an assistant coach for many years, and then co-directed the Run at the Track running training program for youth and families. And we would primarily coach summer and winter in between seasons for track and cross country.
Sure.
But it was kind of a way to keep running fresh and fun for all ages and keep them in shape for season.
Yeah.
But that was what led me to the Springfield Running Center. And I'm an avid runner for many years, since junior high, and ran track and cross country and have always enjoyed running. Started out as a sprinter and then later on became a distance runner and went through a lot of shoes.
I bet.
So I was probably one of the Springfield Running Center's biggest, or at the time, customer of shoes, rotating my shoes out. And so I was in there quite often and walked in one day and talked to the owner and said, wow, I would love to work in a place where I could wear running shoes every day to work and be comfortable. Because at the time I was working for the district and wearing dress clothes and dress shoes.
Yep.
And he said, well, why don't you come to work for us part-time? And so I did, and it worked out very well because I was a coach. And that led me to about 15 years later, here I am.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Going back to when you were working for Budweiser, did you work for Budweiser corporate or a distributor?
Distributor.
Okay. Yeah.
So I started out in Lebanon, Missouri, and back then it was Brown Beverage. It's called Missouri Eagle now. I worked there for about 3.5 years and then wound up relocating here for my husband at the time. His job brought us here. And I just thought that I would be looking for a job for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the next day I moved here. I was working for E.L. Schaefer and Sons, which was the local, back then we had a local Budweiser distributor in town.
Okay. Yeah. No, my wife used to work for Skeff Distributing, which was a Budweiser distributor in Decatur. And she was a graphic artist.
Oh, cool.
Know the processes and everything. Very cool.
I really enjoyed it. 2 different types of companies for sure. This was union. I enjoyed it, but I was in the Lake of the Ozarks area. And at that time, I was 19, 20, 21, and things were a little bit different back then. But the territory for Lake of the Ozarks, we were booming, and you worked every day of the week. You were open every day of the week, really. And so when I moved here, things were a lot different.
Yeah.
But I worked in accounting the whole time and was going to school while I was working.
Yeah,
there.
and that's my wife when she was working there. She was also going to school to become a teacher, so she ended up being a teacher down the road from that. But I did a graphic artist deal for them for quite a while.
Well, that's cool, and things that she can probably take with her later. I did definitely the things that I learned in going through accounting there. I thought I really didn't get into that business to think I was going to be doing HR and payroll and accounts receivable and payable and all that stuff. But I did a lot of inventory control too. I really enjoyed the people I worked with. And obviously, with my job now and my role at Springfield Running Center, I need accounting every day, inventory control, all those things.
So did you go to school for accounting then?
I went to school originally for education, then switched to business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Went to Missouri State in Southwest. Back then it was Southwest Missouri State University, and now it's Missouri State in Springfield.
I'm assuming you ran there. Was there a team or anything? Okay.
They did have a team. I very much regret not going to school and running through my college years. I regret not having that experience, but I was running at the time. I was running half marathons and just doing my own thing. But also I worked through college. So I was working during the day and going to school at night. I don't know when I
makes it a little difficult to be on the team. Too,
yeah,
yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, for sure.
So have any big wins like when you're in high school as a runner? Did you guys, your team go very far?
Yeah, we still, I hope my coach finds this and listens, and my girls on the team, we still hold the 4x800 relay record. So it's lasted over 30 some odd years at Lebanon High School. Yeah, but they've gotten close, but no, we still hold that. And we made it to state. I just enjoyed it. I did it for fun. I did it because it was good camaraderie. And I was a track runner primarily. I ran cross country because my coach made me. And I thought that was cruel and terrible. And I thought the mile was long distance. But had I listened to him, I would have taken the long distance a little more seriously back then, because I think I'm more of a mid distance, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a long distance runner. I was always the sprinter guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Any good runs coaching wise?
Yes. So being a coach at Chatham Glenwood was a lot of fun. And I started out in the middle school and then eventually moved up to the high school. Again, I was an assistant coach, but a lot of times I was working with the distance runners. And so in track, I would work with the same group of people in distance that I got to coach for cross country. And so I knew those kids very well. And that's why working at the running center, I would see all of those kids come in. I just had such a great fondness for these kids. My own sons, all three of them ran. They were sprinters. My oldest son ran cross country and distance, and then he kind of turned into this pole vaulter. All three of them pole vaulted in Chatham. And I thought, what's pole vault? I never did that in high school, and I knew what it was, but I thought, I don't know how to coach that. What are you doing? And so if you're a pole vaulter, you pretty much have to be a sprinter. So you have to work on that. So the coaches took my boys from me in distance, and they became sprinters and pole vaulters. And that was a great experience for them. But I will say, as working mainly with distance runners my whole career, they are great kids. I know I'm biased, but I don't think there's a better sport to coach for me than cross country. It's such a family-oriented sport. Everybody's cheering for the first person, the last person that comes in. The parents become best friends forever, almost like family. And these kids are some of the best kids. They're some of the best students. They do hard things. They're running 2 miles or 3 miles in the heat. You can't quit. If you can't run the whole distance, can't really be on the team. They're doing hard things, and they're some of the best students grade-wise. They make some of the best choices, in life. And I think you can take that distance running, the things that you learn, and that's something my coach said, it's great. It's in my yearbook. The things that you learned in cross country are going to be things that you can take with you in the rest of your life.
Sure.
Because it's pretty much putting one foot in front of the other, one step at a time when you think you can't anymore, or when you're in a lot of pain. And, that's everyday life sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, like you said, doing hard things.
Right,
We're going to have to do hard things all of our lives.
So I think it's an early education for that. You learn, if I can do that, I've done that before. So you get to work with a bunch of good kids, and that is very rewarding as a cross country coach. But also, we went to state. We would win state many times in cross country, girls and boys, in middle school, and then our high school. If anybody follows cross country. Glenwood is a powerhouse in this state. Very proud of that. And even not being a part of it now and being at the Springfield Running Center, I get to live vicariously through that. And I go to some of the meets and get to cheer everybody on, but I follow their times and talk to the coaches. And everybody around here is fantastic. I mean, I work very closely with really all of the coaches around here. But since my 3 kids went through Glenwood and I coached there for so long, I have a soft spot in my heart for them.
It's a great way to build determination and
Yeah.
grit and persistence and the whole nine.
Right.
Get that mindset to where it needs to be for life.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
you said 15 years now at Springfield Running Center.
15 years,
Okay.
yes.
So you said you started just working there.
Right.
So kind of walk us through when it
Yeah.
turned into not just working there and being
Right.
your thing.
Well, after I was there for a short time, I went to the 2 owners who were my bosses, and I was kind of worked into a managerial role there. And I had told them that if there ever comes a time someone wants out, just think about me.
Mm-hmm.
And after 4 years, one of the owner was moving on to another profession, so purchased part of his shares.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked with another partner, and he was there for about 4 years again. And then I wound up purchasing him out. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From when you first started working there, any big changes you made when you took over as full
Painted
owner?
my office,
Yeah.
cleaned my office up.
Sure.
And so I painted it a little bit different color. Yes, a lot changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've learned a lot. I've certainly made some mistakes, and I've certainly made some great changes. I think aesthetically, the store looks different over the years. We just remodeled it really again last year. I did a few things temporarily, but last year we kind of took it up a notch. But as far as brands, we carry several brands of shoes and apparel. There's some things, through the years, apparel doesn't seem to really sell as well. So we started scaling back on that. I have a great, great staff. You go through kind of periods where you've got people that work for you that are, you don't want to lose them. I've got some good college kids in that I
Sure.
just hate for them to go back to school. I had a great little gal that managed the store pretty well for me for 4 or 5 years, and then she moved on. We're the type of business in retail where maybe it's not someone's full-time job, or maybe it's someone's in-between job or
Mhm.
beginning, and then they move on. So she moved on to more her career type
Sure.
job. And then I have some retirees that work for me. That one, Michelle, we inherited her from former owners, and she's been there. If I've been there 15, I bet she's been there 21 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. A lot of coaches come in and have worked like, I just want to work weekends and I'll work the Sunday for you.
Right.
And that's sort of how I was. I was a Sunday girl for many years, and then a few days a week. And I was always off at 3 to go coach the kids, be there Saturday meets, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I became an owner, I said coaching was my greatest job. For so many years, I did it for free. There's no money in coaching for most part.
Unless you get up into
Unless you
the
get up
upper
there,
level,
you're
yeah.
upper level, or you're head coach of girls and boys and this and that, and then you can make some extra money. But when you're an assistant coach who's loving what you do and don't care if you get paid for it, you put in a lot of time, and still the most rewarding and best job ever. And the coaches that I worked with loved every minute of it. I miss it. So I had to give that up when I became an owner, because you can't run the business and be there sometimes 6 days, 7 days a week, or even 5, and have to miss out. I felt guilty missing out on some meets and important things for the actual cross country or track.
So a second ago, you said the apparel, not
apparel.
so much anymore.
Apparel, not
Why do you
so
think
much
that is?
anymore.
It
Well,
just online or?
Online and bigger box store. You can't carry everything, can't have all of that. We kind of keep a tighter line now. I keep a few things, a few branded shirts. There are things that people ask for. I've tried a new apparel line out that does all right too. So I'm still trying to find something there. I just went to a summit out east and got to spend time with probably 20 other store owners and like major buyers, managers for that. it's always great to catch up and talk to your peers and what's working for you.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that work? Why do you do that? Really, and then demographics are different, or the landscape of where they live. Trail shoes may not do as well here. There's not a lot of trails
Right, not
here.
a ton of trails, yeah.
And then the next person, that's their number one shoe.
Mhm.
So you say, wow, really? So apparel kind of seems, and that started happening about 10 years ago. I remember talking to some major brands that are like a chain brand of a
Mhm.
shoe store and a running specialty store. And they were saying, yeah, we're getting rid of all apparel. And because it just, if it's 1 or 2 or 5% of your store sales, why are you wasting your time
Right.
on that? So those are the kind of things that I did have to learn just because I have an emotional attachment to that.
Oh, I
I
bet,
want
yeah.
that. That's
Mhm.
cool. I want to have in all these fun clothes because then I can dress from it and wear it. Doesn't mean that that works for your business. And so, I've definitely learned that, maybe even the light show that some people want. We get asked all the time, and this is something that maybe I can even explain on air now. Do you have a scanner? Can you scan my feet? I can, but the second you walked in that door, I know exactly what type of shoe that you need to wear that is best for your foot. Oh, I have you take off your shoes. I can watch you walk and see your arch height, see if you're rolling in or overpronating or underpronating. And we know immediately what we're looking at and what
Mhm.
goes on. Now, a lot of people want that experience when they walk in and they step on we call it
Sure.
the bells and whistles. And when you step on it, the problem that as an owner or as a business person I had is either you have to purchase that or you have to rent it. It's several thousands
Oh, I
of
bet,
dollars.
yeah.
And the technology that it provides is not any more important or any more relevant to your shoe choice or your orthotic. And then a lot of times, what we were doing was having someone a 3D printed based on their scan. And it went around, it took like 18 pictures, and it's very time consuming. And if, we are big on giving the customer our full attention, one on one, being fully staffed enough to do that. But also, you got to think about, is this cost effective? So we would put in all the information. It takes 15 minutes or so to go through this, or really 5 to 10 to 15, talking about it, ordering an orthotic for someone, and it would come back and it wouldn't be right. And it cost $150 at the time.
Mm.
And then you send it off, and then you're going back and forth with returns, and the time was 6 weeks, and doing it through COVID time was taking even
Oh, I
longer.
bet.
So then going to cancel something like that, you might have a contract. Definitely have made a few, oh, we got to have that. Oh, that would be great for the experience. And then even at that summit, talking to some other people and just saying, yeah, I don't do that.
Right.
Or yeah, I do that. My franchise people prefer me to have that.
Sure.
So we're not a franchise, we're locally owned
Mhm.
and proud to have been here for 46 years and hopefully doing what's right, to stay here for 46 more, 47. It's things like that that I've made changes on and yeah, we're not going to do that. We're
Right.
not going to waste our money and I can educate people, have a conversation with them, let them feel the difference, talk to them about the differences in the soles and what you're getting and orthotics and let them try different things. And hopefully they realize that we are there, we care about them. But that light show, it's kind of hard to even show people for them to understand.
Mhm.
Not that they don't, but it's a lot going on. And there are some people who want that science but it's something that we pride ourselves on just being able to do.
Yeah, for the vast
Because
majority
we've
of the
been
people,
trained.
your
Yep.
experience, you're
Yep.
trained to do that,
Right.
and you could do that without the
Right.
added technology,
Right.
which some people,
Sure.
just like you said, for show,
Kinda
like
want
to
that.
do,
Yeah,
just wanna
that's
do it.
neat. I wanna do that, and we were
Cool, right?
we were very excited about it
Yeah.
first, and then we thought, "That's not even giving us the correct information." We've made some changes through the years. I think as people come in now, you either have to change with the times or you're gonna get left behind.
How has
And
it changed for you over 15 years?
a technology or so
Technology or
first of
just
all, a
general business?
shoe. I've got a shoe. I should have brought it to show what the Asics Kayano was like in its 10th year. Now we're in, gosh, are we 32, 33? How heavy it was, how much overlay, how much sewing. Now there's barely anything on the shoe. The lighter weight, people say, "Oh my gosh, that shoe is that expensive or whatever. There's nothing to it. It feels like there's nothing going on with this shoe. There's so much science in that shoe. There's so much technology, the foam, the technical upper. I know it feels like air and breeze and, but it propels you forward. It has a carbon plate, there's so much going on with the shoes compared to where they were. The technology is just amazing.
Oh, I
It's
bet.
crazy. Yeah.
And how do you decide what brands and what shoes you're gonna stock?
Well, I guess we have probably dropped a few brands and we picked up obviously some newer brands.
Mhm.
I remember when Hoka started, I was not an owner. My bosses were like, "We are not. That is a fad." I mean,
Right.
I was with them.
Yeah.
That's
No,
like,
I can
who
see that.
wants
Yeah.
because we were just coming off like the New Balance Minimus, and there was nothing to it. It was like zero drop. It had the Vibram bottom, and it was just like a little bit of tread and nothing else to your shoe, no cushioning, nothing.
Mhm.
And that whole barefoot running thing was
Oh, right,
really
right.
Born to Run had come out, and everybody decided they wanted to be barefoot runners. But then maybe 5 years later, the Maximal cushion came out. And so then you'd get all the brands. Well, mainly it was Hoka. But then the good thing that came from that is every company did copy
Yeah, it seemed like all of
the
them have that
technology.
now, right? Yeah.
And then they would go too much and then they would come back to the middle. So some of the brands have figured out that there is a middle of the road. But then again, most of those shoes are illegal now, like in a professional racing.
Really?
And the height, the stack cushion is what makes it or breaks it. So it can't be above, is it 50, 52, maybe a millimeter thick, but doesn't stop us from running in them.
Right.
It doesn't stop me from going and running in a marathon or whatever. Now, am I going to get money and, whatever? No. Was I anyway? No.
Right.
So what are you going to do? Kick me out? But the shoe technology has changed how fast people are running. Records are being broken. It's part of their nutrition and part of their shoe makeup. And how that helps is because if you can train harder, you can race harder. And so it's crazy the amount of nutrition we carry when we used to just kind of have Goo brand and maybe some sport beans at the back then. And now I'm pretty sure I can correctly say that we have the largest selection of nutrition for distance or sports as far as electrolytes and 100-calorie packs for your runs,
Right.
your gels, your hydration, and even protein for post. So I'm pretty big on the nutrition myself.
Mhm.
And then I've learned a lot. I'll shout out a little to Malham, to
Oh,
Brennan.
yeah, there you go. Brennan
and
on a few weeks
Celeste.
ago.
Yeah. And they taught me a lot. I actually worked with them one-on-one. They were my personal nutrition coach and working on some as far as weight loss for me, but more about toning and getting a little more muscular
Sure.
weight on me and less fat ratio. And then Celeste worked with me with my daily meal plans,
Mhm.
and he worked with me with all my keeping me good up here
There you go. Yeah.
and answered all my questions. And then he was my weight trainer as well. So they were fantastic. But he taught me a lot, but I've always been interested in that and know that just to be a distance runner, I've been a swimmer, biker. I did an Ironman. And so I really had to work on nutrition for all of that training and time.
Yeah, shout out to Brennan and Celeste. You
Yeah.
can go check out their episode from, I guess it's been 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago now or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out their
For
episode.
sure.
So how is nutrition different when you're training for marathons or all this long distance? What do you do different for that than you would in just a normal, good nutrition setting?
Well, and just even something that Brennan taught me was how important electrolytes were even on a daily basis, because I always just kind of thought, oh, well, I'm training for a marathon but being fully hydrated, people and myself included, and Brennan was always on that with me.
Yeah.
I just am one of these people that I can be so thirsty and I just don't think about having to go and by the time you're thirsty, you're already
Right, it's already
depleted,
yeah.
but it just doesn't bother me. It's not like I'm hungry and I need to go eat. I'm thirsty and I haven't drank in 2 days. Not that that's the case, but
Sure.
I think I could do that.
Mhm.
And that's a problem. So staying hydrated and For every 45 minutes of physical like exertion and you're sweating, it's mainly for sweating. You want to take in about 100 calories of carbohydrates, and you need electrolytes. So for me, I used to just think of it as I'm training for a marathon and I would eat or do whatever I did. I would take my goo or whatever while I was running, but I still wasn't getting that hydration. And I don't know how many, I don't know, 14, 15 marathons or so now, but the first few, I would dehydrate so badly. And I would think, I drank, drinking a couple ounces every time when you go through, that's not being hydrated. Hydrating, staying on top of it all the time, hydrating the whole week before, really staying on top of it with the salt, maybe the pink Himalayan salt on top of Element I use, Relight I use. This all came from, working with Brennan. So it's very important. I carry a lot of those products and educate people on that. I've always done that, but I didn't always practice what I preached.
Right.
And so
yeah, no, the salt's big. I do Baja Gold in the morning first thing. And I'm the opposite with water. I drink so much water.
Too much, right?
Yeah, I always have. I'm off to the side here. I've got my big giant glass jug of water that I bring around with me everywhere.
That's so good. Yeah. Yeah.
So a second ago, you were talking about the Hokas.
Yeah.
So to me, it felt like they were just all of a sudden they were just like this popular, gigantic thing that everybody wanted. Was that the case, or was it a slow burn? You're in the industry. Was it more of a slow burn, or was it all of a sudden?
It was
geez, these Hokas are just.
It was a slow burn. It was a slow burn. And I'll tell you a lot, we get asked for them all the time. So when we look at our analytics on our website or Google Analytics, most search for shoe has been Hoka a lot. It's now been flipped to Asics. Brooks is always in there.
Yep.
It used to be Brooks.
That's what my current tennis shoes are.
Yeah.
Those Brooks.
Right. And they're all great. And what we tell people in the store, every shoe company makes one for your foot type. But what people do not understand is, well, I ordered Brooks. I ordered it online. Or I got a Brooks and it was terrible. It was horrible. It hurt my feet. And the chances are they were in the wrong Brooks for their foot type. And it depends on if you have a high arch, if you have a low arch, if you roll in, if you're wide, if you're narrow, and if the shoe is deep enough, if you're putting an orthotic in. And unless you know the answers to all of these and you do all the research, still you might get the wrong one. There's 2 glycerins, there's 4 glycerins, are you getting the right one? Are you getting the Max? Are you getting the glycerin GTS? Are you getting the regular glycerin? There's lots of different factors here, but I can, say with confidence, I think every shoe company out there really makes one that you would think was really good for your feet. But you trying the wrong one on at the wrong time, and you think, I hate those, man, or they don't work for my feet. And I think people don't understand that about shoes. So making sure you're in the right type for your foot type makes a huge difference. And you can't compare apples to oranges. So if you want to compare a Hoka versus a Brooks versus an Asics, then you need to make sure you're in all of the same type for your foot. And that you're not trying the adrenaline and, a glycerin on, because they're 2 different. And those are Brooks, but those are 2 different kinds of Brooks. So that's something that some people that trust us know that we've been around for a long time and know that's what we do. They come in, they say, I don't know, you just tell me what I need. And then some people do research and still yet you can't always believe what you're reading. And that's why it is good to talk to people.
Yeah. No, and you said you do a one-on-one service with folks. So say I went in today and I come in to ask Tracy, I need a new pair of tennis shoes. Yeah. I'm not a long distance runner, but I'm going to be walking a ton in them. I want to work out in them. I'm just doing normal stuff. Walk me through what you do with me when I say that.
Okay. First of all, you're going to come in the store and you're going to say, I'm not a runner, but I'm a walker. And we hear that a lot. And I think we have more walkers than runners anymore. It's a run specialty store. And as a little history, it started in 1978. And it was a couple of guys who went into a mall shoe store and wanted to have a Springfield Roadrunners board meeting in that store. And that store said, we don't want a bunch of people coming into our store So no, you can't do that. Well, okay. And these guys
Even though
said,
they were probably their perfect customers.
that's your
Right?
customer. It's a running store. And so they said, oh, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You don't want someone to come in your store that might possibly spend money, and maybe there's 10 or 12 of us here. Now, so these guys went, secured licenses for a couple brands, didn't have a storefront, didn't have anything like that, took it to their weekend runs at Washington Park and sold things out of the back of their car until they got a storefront, opened the business, and
Wow.
here it is. So you walk in and you're going to tell me. So it was a strictly run store back then. And I've seen pictures and the track suits, and it's just hilarious what was in style at the
Uh-huh.
time. And a few of our past owners still come in and visit and catch up, and it's great to talk to them. They tell us how things were back then and what they used to do, but it's great. Then I would just say, well, come on over and tell me what you are going to be doing. So you're going to be walking, and maybe wear them to the gym, or you're looking for something. Sometimes people are here for work. We get so many physician referrals and PT referrals and chiropractor. We have a whole array of orthotics. So a lot of people are sent in from their doctor for an orthotic
Mhm.
that they're having trouble for, or braces or compression. So we have a lot of accessories. But you come in and I would say, well, come on over and have a seat. Why don't you take off your shoes for me and leave your socks on? And I'm going to have you walk, and I'm going to have you walk away, and then I'm going to have you come back. And some people, we have a treadmill. You can get on the treadmill. We can video you. I can show you your gait. So people will call for a gait assessment. We can do that as well. But like I said, I can tell exactly where we're going. Sometimes even by your foot shape. Usually it's kind of like we're a circus little sideshow or something. I can probably tell you your shoe size and everything. But then are you looking for something that looks great to wear with jeans? Are you looking for something that, and they'll say, I primarily walk in the morning. I don't care what they look like. Or they're very specific about, I want white. I want
Mhm.
all white shoes. I want something very neutral, or I'm looking for black, or I need it for work. It needs to be black on black, slip proof, that kind of thing. So then I'll go back and I'll bring out a few things, and I try to get some different brands to give you an idea and let you try them on. You try them on, walk around. And usually what we always say is, it needs to feel like you're just putting on a shoe and you think, I could wear this all day. There's never going to be a break in time. Shouldn't be. This isn't like when you were 10 and your mom took you to the leather shoe store and you got your little,
Right.
or
Uh-huh.
whatever, and
Yeah.
you got to break them in. And so, of course, I'm a little bit older than you. So maybe the shoes were different.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. But you should know. And we give you've got 30 days. If you're unhappy, we'll exchange them out, or put you in the right shoe. Come in, we'll reassess and think. But as a whole, we're pretty good at getting it right from the beginning. And you can run in them on the treadmill and see what you think. You can walk around, but we do that all day, every day. Yeah.
So that personal touch you give your customers, how do you feel like that elevates them?
Yeah. What do we want? We want to be listened to. We want to feel like we are listened to. And we get a lot of people that will come in and say, I come here because you fit me. You know what you're talking about. We have a conversation. I know personally a lot of these people because they're repeat. We are really word of mouth type advertising. And I've tried some other things. I would like to find a perfect way for me to be a little better at advertising online. Most of our advertising is my neighbor, my sister, my doctor sent me in, told me to come in, that you are the people to come to. So when that person leaves, I want them to feel like, wow, they took the time to spend and talk to me. They gave me choices. They gave me their opinion, and I feel great about this, and I'm not going anywhere else. Then I know I've done well. I get people who come back, or we talk to you in the grocery store, talk to you in a restaurant, come back in next time, say, or you probably don't remember me, and we probably do remember you.
Yeah.
All of us. I have the best staff. And I cannot tell you how fortunate I feel that pretty much we retain our staff.
And that's huge. That's huge.
Oh, yeah. We are not constantly looking. We don't have big turnover. I feel like we take care of them and they know we care about them. I care about them. It's kind of like we're family. like a personal relationship with everybody. But they are so well educated and customer service is so important. And as you know, I'm a member of SILSA,
Mm.
Central Illinois Customer Service Association.
Great group.
Great group. And I've been on the board for several years now. I've just moved down to the advisory committee and I love that group of people, but I got invited by Steve Peralta to be on in the association and I thought that's what I believe in is customer service. If we don't have that, we don't have anything. I could just go be a shoe store that just slings shoes and I don't know
Right.
anything about it. I'm not making you a part of my life, this customer. I want you to feel, like you say, I want you to feel elevated when you leave. I want you to feel like my life is so much better because I
Yeah.
have on these great shoes that feel great and my feet aren't going to hurt anymore and my life is going to be better. I'm going to run faster. I'm going to be able to stand at work all day and not be in pain. Those things are very important. When
Mhm.
your feet hurt, it's a bad deal. So customer service is above all with all of my staff and they know it. It's above everything and how we treat and how we're perceived by the community for treating our customers.
Mhm.
So, being a part of SILSA, some of our educational programming, and definitely our networking, if I can talk to other business owners or other people in other businesses, but learn about their customer service practices, that board is the board is phenomenal.
So many great people on that
So
board.
many great
Yeah.
I mean, and talk about elevating. I feel elevated by being in the presence of, greatness there.
Mhm.
And I just joined Local First,
Yep.
Springfield.
We certainly appreciate having
I
you. Love
appreciate you
having you.
asking, yeah. And again, I just sit there in awe of the people that I'm listening to, and I'm one of the oldest people in there too, and I cannot believe the enthusiasm and the professionalism, just the excitement and the willingness to give back to the community that so many of our younger members are showing, and I'm excited about that
Me too. Yeah. I
because
mean,
boy,
like
our
you said,
community needs that, and
no doubt
I'm
about
very
it.
excited about that.
Like I said, Local First, our board, it does skew a little younger
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah,
And I think it used to be where younger professionals didn't get into those things
that's
as
right.
much, but now there's a resurgence in it and
There
just
is.
this groundswell
Yeah,
of younger professionals that
yeah.
are really involved in all these
Yeah.
things, and I think it's great.
I'm very excited about that. And I'm also well, I was on the board years ago for the Springfield Roadrunners Club. And I think even watching that through these past couple years, that has really grown. People are more excited about it. I feel like it's starting to grow again. And so that's another club that I'm a member of the club. But being on the board of Local First and being a part of the board of SILSA, totally different, than from some other past boards that I've been on. And I'm so excited about it. It's great. But being around, like I said, the people, the level of professionalism, it's unmatched in our area. Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned customer service and pretty much is everything, especially for local business
Yeah.
too, right? Because that's how you're going to be able to differentiate yourself. You're taking care of your friends and neighbors right here, right? People can go online and shop for
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
If they are getting that personal touch and that
Right.
service, they're going to
Right.
keep coming back to you
Right.
every single day.
And there are times that we might get a little frustrated. If someone comes in, we've had people, they want to come in, they want to take pictures of the shoes or they want to try them all on and then go order them online. I think, well, one, you probably aren't getting them any less expensive. We do
Right.
have a membership program where it doesn't cost you. It's just that you're in our rewards program. And we give discounts to obviously the military. We have a month for healthcare, a month for education. Student athletes always get a discount, and so do coaches. And so we try to really take care of everybody and then there are rewards where you get cash back. So I'm not sure that they're getting a better deal anywhere else. And colors we can order for people. So we do appreciate it when we give free fittings and we
Mhm.
appreciate it when people come in and do shop local and do shop small because if we were just the try on kind of thing, then we wouldn't exist. We do have a great customer base and really appreciate the community, local community.
Yeah, and like you said, with the cost, I mean,
Yeah.
the quality of shoe that
Yeah.
you have,
Yeah.
the cost is the cost
Right.
at most places, right?
Right.
You're not getting
Right.
it for half the cost
Right.
on
You're
Amazon.
not.
It's just not
No.
happening
No.
for that quality of shoe.
Right. Right. Or it's a third party and it's been worn a few times or something. Maybe
Right.
that's what they're going for. I don't know. But yeah, and we have a great sale room too. So, and a sale room just means that it's the product that just went off and the
Sure.
brand new one just came out. So like a car comes out every year, so do shoe models. It's kind of fun to get a good deal in the back room
Yeah,
too.
no doubt about
Yeah.
it. So what other strategies have you used over the years to grow your business?
We do partner with the community quite a bit. I work with some other businesses as far as we fit them for their shoes. We work with the schools, the local schools. So I do work with a lot of the coaches. I like to give back to the community as well. We've always had a race. We just stopped doing it, but we're looking at other avenues. We have a free run night and anyone is invited. You can be a walker or runner. It's a walk run. And we do it at Thursday nights at 5:45. Anyone is welcome. People bring their pets, people bring strollers, and it's anywhere from a mile to a 5K, so 3.1 miles. And we have giveaways, we have fun those nights. Sometimes we have a brand sponsor us, so we have a fun thing like next Thursday night is ASICS night.
Cool.
And we will have quite a turnout then. We have food and drinks and we have music and people come in, they get to try on shoes, they get to do a fun run or walk. And like I walk when I go. And it's a lot of fun. So we try to invite the community to come in and bring friends. And so by word of mouth, we do that. We are planning or talking in early stages about like we have a run club here, but maybe a store run club too that's kind of separate.
Fun.
And it's not that we're trying to make any profit on that for ourselves, but for any donations or any races that we hold within that, we would like to give back to the area high schools. So every high school in our area has a run program. And in the high schools, running programs, track and cross country, you don't normally see all of the crowd participation.
Right.
So it's not a football game where they're going to pay a bunch of money
Yeah,
to
you're not
come
getting
in
a
and
bunch of
see
tickets.
that.
Yeah.
So where we can come in on that is if I like the Scholastic Challenge we used to have. We open it up and you get to choose the local school that gets your profits, your proceeds. So we try to save as much money as we can in putting on the race. And then all proceeds go to the school. And so Lanphier, Springfield High, Southeast, Glenwood, Williamsville, Rochester, these local schools, someone puts their name in there and then we write a check to that school's running program. A lot of times that's how their assistant coaches get paid or they have money for uniforms or anything. And otherwise, they just don't have that money. They have to raise it themselves and sell things and do things. But this is a fun way to do
Really
it.
cool program.
We make it a contest. So we plan on doing more of that. So we're all about community here and we want to give back when we can. We do a lot of donations to races with gift cards, something like that. We try to do that. So yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
No, the fun run walk, does that go through the neighborhood there?
It does.
That's what I thought. Because
It does. You probably, if you've ever seen us. Okay.
So I live out close, so I come through that a lot, that area a lot. Like I'm going to Harvest Market and everything over there. So yeah, I'm
I
really
want to
close.
apologize right now for Halloween because that is our biggest one.
Sure.
And we give away free shirts. We print up these great logoed shirts and they're always in a Halloween theme and people come for the shirts, I swear. But they also come for the fun drinks and the music and the food and the shoes and camaraderie. And these are people that the Run Club, SRRC, is very social. So we love to just get together and talk and hang out and have fun. And so it's as much that. But when everybody's dressed up for Halloween, we have a costume contest and they parade around like we're, 5-year-olds. We parade around. It's usually about because it's kind of dangerous to be out on the roads for that. But there's a 1-mile loop around us, kind of around the whole big block.
Yeah, down through like down Koke Mill and around. Yeah.
Yep. And then it will come back through over by the cleaners and come back for us. But if we go out, we'll go out through off Meadow Brook to run our 5K and come back. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
we have a bunch of regulars who show up.
That'd be awesome. So we've talked a lot of business.
Mhm.
What are some ways you elevate your life personally? We've talked a little bit about training and nutrition, but
Yeah.
what are some of the things you do?
Personally, I'll tell you, if I were training for anything, and this is whether it's a race or whether it's to get better personally, like I said, I wound up hiring Brennan and Celeste. But business wise, I surround myself with people who I perceive are better than where I am right now, who are where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
or who have been there and who are great leaders. So when I'm running, I run with people who are faster than me and I train with them. And I've done that for years and it totally elevated me. I've known people that don't even really want, or feel intimidated to do that. And why wouldn't you want to push yourself to be better? And then before you know it, you are, and you think, well, how did that happen? Just because I was working harder and trying to really better myself. So whether it's business, whether it's personal relationships, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical fitness or diet or just anything in life. I think if you identify those people that you want to emulate or be more like, and you surround yourself without stalking them, with their permission, then that's going to make you better. I do read a lot. I listen to podcasts and I have great friends and coworkers and professionals around that you can just, hey, let me run something by you, or help keep me from making big mistakes, because I know I'm going to make them. And I'm not afraid to try new things.
That's key there too, isn't it? Yeah.
Business. I will say, I've been in situations before where I would bring something up and it'd be, well, that's not how we've done it. That's not how we do it. And we tried that and that just doesn't work. And even I've said that before. Well, we tried that. And I have to remember, well, that things are different now. The people are different now. Situations and money and all these things. Maybe we do try that again. Maybe we do try that brand again. Maybe we do try that run program or whatever it is. And so I have to be more open. I think I'm pretty good at that because I don't ever want to get to a position in life where I feel like I know it all, because I feel like every day I learn something. And I'm learning it from these younger kids, younger people, but also just be open to trying new things. And whether it's sports, whether it's a new hobby, cooking, anything like that, I need to be open.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You said a minute ago about, essentially reaching up. I talk a lot about that, reaching up instead of reaching out, so reach up for the next thing. We talk about it a lot and it's been said a lot, whether you're the greatest runner, you're the wealthiest, you're the whatever, if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
That's right.
You need to get into a bigger room.
That's
you
right.
need to get with bigger, better people that can push you and stretch you and get you to the next level. Being the best in that room isn't going to push you enough to get to the next level.
Right. And that's exactly right. Being the best, you'll stay where you are.
You're just there.
And you might even fall down. And I wouldn't be anywhere where I am in life where I feel I'm very blessed if I hadn't done that. Yeah. I wouldn't have had success in sports or business if I hadn't done that.
So you talked a couple of times about the younger entrepreneur set. What's a piece of advice you would give them now that you've been in business for a little bit? What could you tell some of them younger folks that are maybe 19, 20s trying to start their business right now?
Get a good, have a lawyer and accountant. I always say that. I do have some kids that work for me. I have one that just did an internship with our business and he already worked for me, but a couple UIS students, few smart, great kids, distance runners, hard workers. And we do talk about this, and even my own kids. And, I kind of feel different if my kids listen to this. Things come off so much differently as a mom than they do as a boss or a coworker or just an advisor. And I hope that someone would give my kids that advice to listen to, because I still feel like they think of me as mom right now. And what do you know? But have a lawyer, use the lawyer, before you make any big decisions. Run it by that lawyer. And, it's worth say it costs you $300 to ask that lawyer a few questions for 20 minutes. It's way more to pay for a big mistake later. And I have done that. I've done both. I've asked the lawyer first, and then I've made the mistake and had to, pay for it in business. It's just a learning curve. But have a good accountant. And this is me coming from accounting background. I do everything at work as far as paying the bills and accounts receivable, and I pay my taxes. But I have a quarterly bookkeeper come in and make sure that I'm not making any mistakes.
Sure.
And then I have my, of course, accounting firm that does all the final year stuff.
Right.
So don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to make sure that you're always on the good side of
Right.
everything, because you could go wrong and make a mistake. And it's easy to do just because we don't know the laws. But know that I think with the younger, and not everybody, but if you're going to own your own business and you know this, you better be willing to work 7 days a week for a long time. And it's going to be hard. And that's just what it is. And you may feel like, I'm not getting paid for this. And it's not all going to be fun, but you have to do the hard stuff. You have to dig in and you have to do the work so that hopefully short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. And that is one thing that I have texted to my kids when they're doing something that they don't really want to be doing, whether it's school or whatever. Short-term sacrifice, bud, for a long-term gain. And just know that it's going to pay off at some point. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when you think you're not making any progress, pretty soon you look back and you think, wait, look how far I've come.
I've been. Yeah.
So when it gets tough, you just got to keep going. You can't stop. You got to keep going and keep moving forward. And if that's not working, that's when I say surround yourself around those people, because that's another thing that with young that I see sometimes is I've got it figured out, or I can,
Sure.
I know what I'm
Know
doing.
it.
Got it. I'll figure it out. Well, sometimes it's good to ask the people that already had to figure it out and get that under your belt. And okay, well, at least I've got that advice now, and maybe we can save you from some little mistakes that would save you time or grief or money or whatever it is. But don't be afraid to reach out and to reach up, like you say.
There you go. Young entrepreneurs out there,
Yeah.
take heed of that. So, Tracy, we've talked about a lot of great things today. I always close with these last couple of things. Give us one more on the personal side, one more on the professional side, maybe a piece of advice for folks out there to elevate their life or business.
If there were one thing for me to think about in helping myself to be more elevated, I think I work better with a coach. And I know that I don't know everything. And I know that there are people out there who will hold me accountable and keep me wanting to be better. And I need to see results to do that. And so I would say remain coachable. There are people out there that I've coached, that are not coachable. And I just want to say, just open yourself up, listen, and just try to do what I'm saying for a little bit. And you're going to see some results, whatever it is. And then once you do, then I think that you'll be more open. So be coachable. Find someone that you want to hold you accountable. Check in with them. Meet with them maybe every couple of weeks for coffee or something. Tell them how things are going and listen to them. Help hold them accountable. If you have people in your life that you're holding accountable as well, I think that elevates you. So be willing to coach, be willing to be coachable.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Tracy, is there anything we can do community-wide to help elevate all of us here in Springfield and their surrounding communities?
Being willing to give back of your time. There are some young professionals here that I see doing that all the time. That another little shout out to Nick Koch and Connor Carndiff. Consider them kids, but these are young men. They're actually friends of my son growing up too. So I've watched these kids grow up into young men and, their wives too. And they are doing what I wish I had been able to do as a young adult. And they're doing it for the community, and they're doing it to um, better the community and to elevate the community
Mhm.
as well as themselves and their family. If we do that, it would be nice for people to do what they've done, where you go to school. You say you want to go away to college, but coming back to Springfield and seeing where you are now and taking what you've learned and building upon that and working with other people and donating your time and giving back to the community, and others see what you're doing. These kids are making me want to do more of that.
Sure.
And that is what it's all about. I'm middle-aged person who wants to get out and go start building a house now because I'm watching what, these kids are doing in their spare time. And I
Mhm.
I think, when do they have time to have fun? They're out doing,
All the
and they're doing
things.
it for other people. And if we just get into our own little worlds and our own minds and our own heads and just think about number 1, me, then I'm not doing anything to better the community around me, and my business isn't going to grow. If we better the community, more people will want to be here. More people will want to live here, work here, produce here, spend money here, and maybe Springfield will grow
Yeah.
and
And we
into
all benefit from
we
that.
all benefit from that.
No
Absolutely.
doubt about it. Yeah. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah.
I think another young professional, Will from Masco, might have said it
Yes.
best when it comes to Nick. He said that Nick is varsity when it comes
He
to
is.
being involved in the community
He
and
is.
getting involved with everything.
It's
So it's
crazy.
just awesome.
I know.
So
It's awesome. I love to see it. And I'm one of his biggest fans.
he's doing a phenomenal job with us at Local First too.
Yeah.
So good
Yeah.
stuff. Well, Tracy, if somebody's wanting to do some business with you, maybe come pick up a pair of Hokas or Brooks or whatever,
Yep.
what do they do?
Well, come on in to 2943 West White Oaks Drive, and we're right behind Harvest Market, and we're in the strip mall back there, but you do not need an appointment. You can come right in, and any one of us can help fit you. So come in, have a conversation, give us anywhere from 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so. You get to try on whatever you want, and we'll take care of you.
Awesome. Well, Tracy, appreciate you jumping on board with Local First. Appreciate you spending some time with me this afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to Local First.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to let Tracy get back to elevating Springfield, but for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right, let's go, Tracy. So much great stuff there. Phenomenal, right? So many tidbits for you to learn from there. A lot of great experience in her career that she's able to bring to us today. We are certainly fortunate to have her stop by. So, like we always do, let's talk about some of the things we discussed through a 10X lens. Of course, Tracy is a coach and she believes in coaching. One of the things we do at my coaching and training business, Big Dog Business Coaching Corporation, we coach and train individuals day in and day out. That could be business owners, that could be full teams, that could be one-off training workshops. It could look a little bit different for everyone, but we are revenue and results coaches. Now, everybody's results might be a little bit different. For a lot of folks, it's getting their business to grow, and we can help out with that. Help out with sales and marketing and scaling, all the things to help that revenue grow. We go through personal, professional, and financial goals as part of that and how that relates to the growth of the business. We work with so many phenomenal companies around here, so we certainly believe in the value and the impact that a good coach can have on your life and your business. Now, Tracy talked a lot about how she believes in having a coach personally, professionally, anything in life, right? You need a good coach. You need somebody to hold you accountable. And at Big Dog Business Coaching, we can help you out with that. If that's something you would like or would like to have a discussion about, head on over to our website, bigdogbc.com, or just give me a shout on social. We could start that way as well. She also talked about being around people that are better than you in what you're trying to work on, right? So she talked about how she runs with people that are faster than her so she can get better. We talk about that a lot in the 10X world. Surround yourself with folks that are going to make you stretch, that are going to make you grow. If you're around people where you are the best at whatever, you're the wealthiest in the room, you're the smartest in the room, you're the whatever in the room, y'all need to get yourself a new room. You need to be around people that are going to push you, stretch you, and make you grow. Otherwise, it is far too easy to become stagnant. If you are not being pushed by others, it is very easy to slide backwards. So get around people that will help you grow. Get uncomfortable. Be okay with not being the best in the room, right? Because that's how you're going to grow. Make a habit of reaching up in all your relationships toward people who are better connected, better educated, and more successful. These individuals have much more to share than people that are just equal with where you are at. So make it a habit to reach up, never sideways and never down. The people with whom you surround yourself will have a great deal to do with whether you achieve your goals or not. So don't go horizontal, go vertical, go up. Associate yourself with bigger thinkers, bigger dreamers, and bigger players. On top of that, she talked about doing hard things. We've touched on this before. Do hard things. Another way to stretch you, another way to help you grow. It's about being uncomfortable, staying uncomfortable. If you are too comfortable, you will not grow. Growth does not happen in the comfort. Growth happens in the discomfort. And when you're talking about hard things, learn to love challenges. A lot of people absolutely hate challenges, but highly successful people are invigorated by challenges. Challenges can be experiences that sharpen successful people's abilities. So successful people look for these challenges. To achieve your goals, you have to get to a place where every challenge becomes fuel for you. Too many people see a challenge and then use that as a reason to avoid that thing, right? But when you're able to develop a more positive outlook, you can see a challenge as more of an impetus to engage rather than excuse to avoid something, right? You have to re-educate yourself on the notion that this thing that's a challenge, right? Instead of being a challenge in your mind, it provides an opportunity for you to win, an opportunity for you to do something great. So do those hard things, run toward those challenges, and the more you win and the more you do that, the more you're going to grow to love challenges. And success will follow that because you're going to be able to take those challenges, crush them, and then you'll start crushing even more. She also talked about giving back to the community and how important that is to her. We all have either time or money that we could be giving back to our community, or it could be both. Some people have more money than they do time, right? But we've talked before, we control time. We don't manage time. So you just need to make it a priority. Where are you at priority wise in helping your community grow or engaging in your community, right? Both financially and time wise. When we do that, and Tracy said it herself, when we do that, we're all going to be able to elevate ourselves and elevate the community on the whole. And getting engaged is a key tenet in 10X strategies, right? Always want to be engaged in everything, in all ways. So get engaged with the local community, time and money. Talked about some of the conferences that she goes to and how important that is to be around other folks in your industry to be able to pick their brain, what's working, what's not, right? We've talked about that many times. Get out of town for a little bit, meet with the movers and shakers in your industry. Of course, do that here in town as well, but take some time each year and get out, get to networking with others in your industry from around the country and gain the insights that they have gained from their particular areas. What has worked, what has not worked, what has been highly successful, what has failed. It's going to help you out. Great learning opportunity. And then we spend a good deal of time on customer service. Of course, that is key in 10X, right? We've talked about that a lot. Service over selling. What can you do to be unique in your service? What can you do to over deliver for your clients and for your customers? I believe Springfield Running Center over delivers for their customers day in and day out with that personal touch that Tracy mentioned, the knowledge and experience that they have to be able to properly equip a client with what they need is over delivering by them taking the time day in and day out, making sure each client is taken care of. And then final thing, one of the quotes of the day probably from Tracy, short-term sacrifice to get that long-term gain, y'all. That's in everything. That's in working out. That's in spirituality. That is in finances. That is in your business. That is in everything. Kind of goes along with do those hard things, right? Short-term sacrifice. Do the hard things now. Take all those steps now for that long-term gain, right? Be different now. Do the things that others are not doing now for that long-term gain. Know that every little step you take now, every little hardship, every little win, every little everything is reaching you toward that ultimate success. So do the hard things now, make the sacrifices now, and reap that long-term reward, that long-term gain later on. All right. So great stuff with Tracy today. Right after the break, we're going to have another edition of Communities Grow Together. We'll be right back with Jeff.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.
And we are back for another edition of Communities Grow Together. Friend of the show, Mr. Jeff Dillman from Masco and Land Lincoln Professional Networking Group. How you doing today, Jeff?
I'm good, and that's a tough one, because a lot of people say the Lincoln Land Professional.
I almost said development for some reason. I don't know why.
I guess we're developing people somehow, some way, right?
We are.
But I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, always good to have you in. You're so involved locally. You've been around so many different nonprofits, so many different associations. Dare to say, call you Mr. Local, I guess, for a lot of the stuff you've done around Springfield and the surrounding communities.
I think I'm one of them.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of Mr. Locals, but I kind of like that because I feel that way. I love the community, and I just I want to be engaged. And I think you're like me. When we do something, we want to run with it.
That's right.
So when we say we're going to help, we do it.
So today we want to touch on the state of nonprofits in the area. So let's start with, what are some of the nonprofits you've worked with in Springfield?
Well, Salvation Army, and obviously Family Service Center are the two biggest ones. When you look at the nonprofit side of it, they're a catalyst for social agencies. I think a lot of people overlook when you see a nonprofit, they employ millions of people. They create volunteerism opportunities, and they all work together. I think for our small community here, it's really, really amazing. Are they competing? I'm sure in some way for fundraising, right?
Dollars, sure.
Right. But when you look at the nonprofits, they're all probably seeing the same thing, maybe funding cuts or potential cuts. They have to find ways to fundraise, try to get solid board members that can be engaged and get their message out. There's some of the nonprofits in town that's been around for 162 years, and Family Service Center is one of those. And most people probably don't even know that. But I think we forget sometimes how important they are to the community. They do create jobs and They buy local, they shop local,
They certainly do.
you know, and they help communities grow together.
Mhm. And you talked about them working together. I know you and I, you being with the Land and Lincoln Professional Networking Group, of course, I'm highly involved with that too. But with
Sure.
me being president of Local First Springfield, we're trying everything we can to bring all these groups together and say, hey, what can we do? All of us together, no egos involved. What
Right,
can we do
right.
to make Springfield better? So, what are some of the ways that some of the nonprofits are coming together?
It's more of just when you look at the executive directors, they're probably communicating more of talking with one another on maybe problems that they're facing. What can we do to work together? I think once again, some of them are probably competing in a sense. But when you look at Family Service Center, we work there with several different agencies and nonprofits to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Some of the depth of what they do, that's not my daily job.
Sure.
I'm just the vice president of that board, but I do know they all come together. You have United Way, Compass for Kids, the outlet. I mean, there's just so many different things. They strive to take care of children, like recent backpack drive for schooling. There's a lot of those going on to make sure kids have what they need to get back in school. There's a lot of work with just children in general, and as far as feeding, making sure they have a hot meal. There's many ways I'm probably missing.
But the impact of that when you're talking about dealing with kids, I mean, that hot meal, that mentorship talk that you have, the outlet's great. I've spoken a couple of times with that group out there. It's just the impact you can make through those nonprofits to the kids is just amazing. And you may not see it today. The hot meal, yeah, you're going to see that today.
Right.
But with some of the other stuff, you may not see it till down the road. But it could certainly change the trajectory of a kid's life.
I agree. And, Outlet's another one that we worked with. And I think with that, Michael Thomas and I have, usually it's Masco and Express. We get engaged somehow, some way. We were helping the food pantries. We got involved with the outlet and serving them a hot meal. And we did a good meal. We did brats and hot dogs. And one time we did smoked chicken. But to see the smile on their faces. And not only that, at the outlet, particularly, the kids came in to help us serve.
Mm-hmm.
But just to see their collaboration, they sit around, they pray, and they talk, and they're thankful. And, I just think that, more people need to know that there are ways they can help those nonprofits too.
Right.
Not only for what the nonprofits do for everyone else, we could help them, on the business level as well, because they support businesses. We should support them as a business.
No doubt about it. Get involved, whether it's time, whether it's money, whatever you can give, get involved, because it truly makes a huge impact on the community and on the people that they serve.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does.
Speaking of working together with the Land of Lincoln and Local First, we're not going to give all the details today, but we've got a couple of things in the works for a joint educational events, right?
We do. What is it? Oh, we can't talk about it. That's right.
It'll be a cool one, though, when we do announce it.
Yeah. I'm excited for Land of Lincoln. I'm excited that for something I wanted to start small, look at it now. And it's going to be really neat to see the collaboration between the two of us from Local First and Land of Lincoln Professional Networking Group. Plus, you're already helping a lot with us there, and thank you for that. But that's exciting because I think we've got a lot of things we can talk about, a lot of things we can do together. So I'm excited for whatever this new adventure is going to be.
It's going to be fun.
You'll just have to tune in for that, right?
That's right.
But it will be fun. I think we've got the momentum on both, and it's exciting to be involved in both. And we were kind of talking earlier that, we're not competing with one another.
No.
I think a lot of people, when I started Land and Lincoln Professional Network, they're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. You're just competing against Local First and all the chambers. We're not. We still need chamber support. We still need Local First. We still need SILSA. We need all the local initiatives. And that message we're going to continue to get out. We're not competing.
Right.
We're going to prove that with Local First and Land and Lincoln working together. So.
No doubt about it. I mean, another example of that, on our Local First Facebook page today, we shared out a SILSA event because they're great events.
Right.
Let's
That's
go.
right.
Come on, let's work together. Let's promote each other. Let's get the people of Springfield what they need, education-wise, event-wise, whatever. We all serve slightly different niches, so why can't we support each other, blow each other up? Let's go. Let's all be great.
I agree. Because, the thing is, I'll use Alpha Dog Inspections for, I got to use that for example. Colton reached out to me and said, hey, I am busy which is great for him, right? And he goes, I've got to make sure I stay engaged with Local First Springfield and I stay engaged with Land and Lincoln Professional Networking Group. And, but that's the type of thinking a business owner needs to have. When you look at the mere cost to join either group or the chambers, it's worth it. And, when someone said to me today, actually at a luncheon I was at, well, I don't really see the need for me. Yeah. I mean, we need to educate a little better why it's important,
Right.
why it is important.
Mm.
Because, you have to show that you're supporting the local initiative because you want that individual to walk in your storefront. And when they see that sign, well, there's a lot of people that do look for those signs that you are supporting local. Because what happens the day that people stop walking, maybe less people stop walking to that door.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at everything that we're doing as a community's growing together, it's important too that we find time and we do work together. We do share things like that. And it's funny you said that. When I saw Local First shared that, my intentions were to get on Land and Lincoln professional networking group and share that.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that when we get off of here because that was great for the marketing side. Our marketing side on Local First Springfield, good job.
There you go.
Because we do need to do that.
No doubt
We
about
really
it.
do.
And maybe we're talking about nonprofits and everybody working together. Maybe we can come up with something fun to where we do a collaborative effort between Local First and Land of Lincoln where we support nonprofits in some way, whether we put together time or whatever that is, put together an event.
I mean, there's the holiday season coming up. That's something we can definitely talk about. I do know on the nonprofit side, in a lot of cases, and particularly the one that I'm working with, is Christmas, Thanksgiving. There's not enough meals. Some families may not have meals. Some children may not have gifts.
Mhm.
We've got a big thing that'll be coming up on the nonprofit side for Family Service Centers, Tree of Wishes. That's a nice thing that'll be held out at White Oaks Mall. And that's where you'll come to a tree and pick a name off anywhere from 1-year-old, 6 months to 105
Mhm.
and get those people a gift. It's very touching. But yeah, I think there's something we
We
can
can
do
figure
for
it out.
whatever nonprofit
Yeah.
it is.
And you already give you a shout out for what you do with Land of Lincoln. You already, as part of the dues for being in the group, you already give a sizable donation to a local nonprofit.
Yep.
As part of
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes,
So,
sir. And we're going to continue to do that. So I think that's important. And I have to give a shout out to Nicholas Koch on that with Tech Guard Security because Nicholas, once again, we're member driven. And he just shot me a text one night and he said, "Hey, have you thought about maybe giving a little bit of money back each quarter to a local nonprofit or just a local initiative?"
Mhm.
I didn't. And I'm supposed to be Mr. Local.
Right.
But when he said that, it's like, yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. It really is a good idea. And once again, not doing it to really to profit a lot. We're just doing it to get the collaboration together to support local business. I think it'll be good coverage for us. It'll look good for us, and it makes sense that we do that.
No doubt about it. And for you listeners out there, if you haven't heard of Nicholas Koch, you've heard of him twice today. Both guests have brought his name up. So you might want to look him up because he's a great guy in our community doing a lot of great things. Shout out to Nick Koch. He is VP at Local First Springfield and, of course, highly involved in Land of Lincoln as well. So,
He is.
doing great things in the community.
Yes, he is.
So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. We've got the Local First Springfield annual meeting and fall social on September 18th. If you haven't heard about that, we've got all the information out on the website and out on our social. It's over at Jane Hay Sales and Staging back behind Harvest Market. We'd love to have you out 5 to 7 p.m. on September 18th. We're going to have live music, food, networking, the whole nine. Everybody come and have a little bit of fun, right?
It's going to be exciting.
It'll
I'm
be
ready.
good. So
I'm ready. And I'm not singing.
no. Well, I bet you could sing all right.
I can't.
No?
No,
I
not
mean,
a note.
You got a good baritone. You could
Not
probably
a,
get in there
not
a
a
little
note.
bit.
Not a note. I
No.
mean, if my wife's listening, she can say no way. Maybe I sound good. I don't.
Well, we'll test that one of these days.
Maybe.
So
Maybe.
we got the mics here. We might as well put them to use, right?
There we
So
go.
let's go.
Well, we could probably have it AI generated. That'd sound good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's a thought.
Anything else from Masco or Land of Lincoln?
No, just continue to make the community strong and growing together, and make sure that we always speak about that local initiative, how important it is. And as far as Masco goes and Maintenance Supply Corporation, both of our companies, we are super stoked about this group, and we're excited to see what the 6 months bring. We're up to our 6th month now, and now it's time to say, hey, think about us when you need something local. But really, just continue to grow with the local initiative and try to make it stronger.
Good stuff. Well, always good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
We're going to let Jeff get back to elevating Springfield. For the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.
Big dog, if you're doing some remodeling or redesign and build, come and see our showroom. No one does today.
Big dog.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. If you want to get caught up on previous episodes, hey, just head on over to your favorite podcast outlet. Search for Elevate Springfield. Should be able to find us. Hey, while you're out there, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Check out our socials. That's at Robert Farrell, at everywhere. Also the at Elevate Springfield pages. Check out our YouTube channel, Robert Farrell. We would certainly appreciate a subscribe there. Good place to have all the clips from the show curated in one place for you. So, a lot of great stuff today from Tracy. Appreciate her stopping by. Jeff, always a pleasure. Good to have you back. We're going to be back at it next time, but until then, you take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through. And together, that's right, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
Look, I get it. Mortgages sound boring until you realize you need one, and suddenly you're neck deep in paperwork. Googling terms like escrow and DTI like you're studying for a finance exam you didn't sign up for. I'm Fred Weber at 217 Mortgage. I break it down like a real human, not a robot in a tie. VA loans, first-time homebuyer, refi, I've got you. Local, fast, and yes, I answer my phone. 217 Mortgage, because adulting is hard enough.
Equal Housing Opportunity, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, Department of Financial and Professional Regulation, NMLS number 6606, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Conditions and restrictions apply. This is not a loan commitment or guarantee of any kind. All mortgage loan products are subject to credit and property approval. New American Funding, LLC, all rights reserved. Corporate office 14511, Myford Road, Suite 100, Tustin, California 92780. Phone number 1-800-450-2010, NAF.com.